Hi, today we're going to talk about soloing out of the minor pentatonic scale or the blues scale. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and download the PDF that's available online. It says the A minor pentatonic scale or the A blues scale. And that scale should sound like this when you play it. You're at the 5th fret, starting with your index finger. Okay, so now instead of dealing with the whole pattern at one time, we're just going to deal with a very small portion of it. The part that's located starting at the 7th fret on the D string. Okay, then you'll see in example number 1 on blues scale soloing exercises that the next note is 5 on the G string, 7 on the G string, 8 on the G string. So you have basically 4 notes that we're dealing with. Now, it's not just about how many notes you play, it's how you play the notes. So this isn't an exercise in shredding, this is an exercise in phrasing and how we're playing the notes, how we're articulating the notes. So let's just talk about some articulation effects. One of them is a hammer-on. That's where you pick the first note and you hammer the second. So there's only one pick attack, like that. So the notes have to be on the same string, so 5 to 7. And you can download a few of these sample licks online as well. The reverse of a hammer-on would be a pull-off, where you pluck the first note and your finger physically plucks the string so that the second note sounds. Again, only one pick attack. That would be a pull-off. Another thing you could do is slide. So any notes on the same string, that would mean, like, say, in this example, you have 5, 7, and 8. They're all on the same string, so you could slide from 5 to 7, or back, or you can slide 7 to 8, or back. The other thing that I'm doing is adding vibrato. Now, vibrato on the electric guitar is different than, say, vibrato on classical style vibrato, which is back and forth, like that. Vibrato on the electric guitar usually means that you're moving the string just very slightly up and down. And you're not making the pitch go really sharp. You're not going to go... That's more of a bend. The vibrato, just practice slow, even vibrato at first, like that. And that will really make your soloing sound better with a little bit of vibrato on held notes. The other thing that you can do is play double stops, which means playing 2 notes at the same time. Now, in order to do that, the notes have to be on different strings. So, you, say, in example number 1, could combine any of the notes on the 5th string, the notes on the 3rd string at the 5th fret, the 7th fret, or the 8th fret with the note at the 7th fret on the D string. So, for example, 7 and 5, 7 and 7, 7 and 8. Okay, so any of these note combinations will work. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and download the 12-bar play-along in A. And this is just an A shuffle. And what I'm going to do is demonstrate what you can do with these articulations. Now remember, I'm not going to do any bending yet. Bending is going to come in example number 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate this. Not bending allows you to actually focus on how you're playing the notes other than bending, because I find a lot of times when students start bending is they bend and then they don't realize they can do anything else. So let's really just focus on all the other articulations that are possible besides bending. Okay, so here we go with the 12 bar in A. Okay? So that was exercise number 1. I took a couple of courses on that, so why don't you go ahead and try that now, and then we'll go on to exercise number 2. Okay, we're back for exercise number 2, blues scale soloing exercises. So in this example, what we have are bends. Now, if you haven't bent before, this will be especially challenging. Remember, this exercise is for anywhere from beginner through intermediate. I find sometimes even after players have been playing a long time, they still need work on their phrasing. So this exercise is about phrasing as much as it is about what notes you're playing. So in example 2, what we have first diagrammed is a half-step bend at the 7th fret on the G string. So what you're going to do is you're going to press up the 3rd string by a half step. What I mean is you finger 7, but the pitch that's going to actually sound when you bend is the note at the 8th fret. That's what a half step means, 1 fret. So you're going for that pitch, but you're going to bend here at 7. So here's the bend. So that would be the distance of a half step. Now, if you're not sure what that's supposed to sound like, play the note ahead of time and then try bending to it so that you can bend in tune. Notice how I'm using more than 1 finger on the string. This helps for control. Now, a lot of people also use their thumb up over the top. This is fine in playing the blues, but just remember that for other styles you might want to have your thumb back here. So I kind of ride my thumb in a hybrid position for this. Okay, now let's try a whole step bend at the 7th fret. Now that would be this pitch that's at the 9th fret. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. So again, 7th, bend till it sounds like the note at the 9th fret. Okay. Now, the next example given here is at the 5th fret on the G string, and it says H, which is half. And realistically, this could be anywhere from a half to a quarter. A half would be the same note as at 6, but sometimes in blues we do this microtonal thing where we're playing a note that's actually only fingerable by bending to it. And in blues, this 3rd sounds kind of like this. This note sounds like that. More than this or this. It's kind of in between. And you notice I'm pushing down. Sometimes I push down or pull up on a bend. It really has the same effect. You can see I could go either way there. Notice I'm using vibrato again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is incorporate the bends with any of the articulations I used in the first example. Okay, so here we go with our 12 bar again. Okay, so that was a couple of courses going in the bends now. And go ahead and play through this a few times, and then we'll go on to exercise number 3.